So the UK's been under lockdown because of the coronavirus for just over a month now. The reasoning behind the lockdown is good. Doesn't make it easy though. I'm sure I've said before on here, I have mental health issues, mainly depression and anxiety. They sort of come and go. Most of the time I'm pretty high functioning. They're there, but they don't really stop me doing anything. Every once in a while they really flare up and they stop me doing everything. I'm a lot closer to the former than the latter at the moment, which is good, in theory. The problem is, how I usually keep going, what allows me to be in control of my mental health rather than it being in control of me, is various coping strategies that I've picked up over the years. The problem is, I feel like I've been shut off from all of them at the moment because of the lockdown. Doesn't mean I disagree with the reasoning. Doesn't even mean that I think that whatever the cost is won't be worth it. But I know there'll be a cost, but I don't know what it'll be yet, and that worries me. I mean, certainly from the anxiety side of things, especially from the social anxiety side of things, I'm an actual introvert. I actually enjoy spending time on my own. Being home alone is my preferred state of being. Not necessarily all day, every day, but I can manage it for, long amounts of time without the issues that some people have. The drawback about this is that I'm still human, I'm still a social person. You need to be around people, and especially if you have social anxiety, make sure where possible that you are around people so that you stay used to being around people, so that you don't sort of just get used to, effectively being a hermit. So I've spent the past several years forcing myself, I say forcing, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not, but more or less forcing myself to go out for the sake of not staying in, to be around people, preferably my loved ones, for the sake of not being alone, and just basically making sure that I don't become isolated. Because I could become very, very used to spending all of my time on my own long before it started to be a problem. More importantly, it could be a problem long before I started to struggle with being alone. And then I'd end up struggling being back around people again. And like I said, I spent years trying to make sure that doesn't happen to me. And now I kind of feel forced into the opposite, which is a bit frustrating. Similarly, when my depression gets up, sometimes I find that, I've got no energy, don't really want to get up, don't really want to do anything, so when I don't have to, I just don't. To try to stave that off, again, usually I will try to go out, firstly, fresh air and sunlight, especially in the better half of the year, is usually quite useful. The other thing, though, is going out forces me to get up. If I don't have much to do, even if I've got things to do around the flat, it's like, if I don't get out of bed, or if I don't have something big to go for, I don't get out of bed sometimes. So, going out, and especially sometimes if I just don't feel like making lunch, going out for lunch, grabbing something at a coffee shop, or there's a little takeaway van usually in the car park of the local retail park that's about 5 minutes walk from my flat. I usually get a jumbo hot dog with cheese. I miss those. But I'll do that just so I don't stay in all the time. The other thing though that's hardest is normally I do what I can so that I can stay in control. I need to be in control to be in control of my mental health. Also, a little bit of a rebel at times. I'm not completely against the rules, but kind of like, I like rules that make sense. I also, though, like rules where I feel like I've got some sort of choice. I don't like being forced into things, which I kind of do at the moment. But also I don't like feeling trapped, because that is very bad for my mental health, potentially. And the thing is, at the moment, I'm struggling a bit, but I'm mostly fine. I am not at the point of it being a real problem. I don't even think that time's coming anytime soon. But I am going to be paying for this down the line. I just know it, because I always do. I struggle through difficult situations, and then once everything gets back to normal, I kind of don't. But again, the major frustration is I'm supposed to have learnt over the years. I have learnt over the years. Don't push myself too far. Take time for myself, do what I need to do to keep this thing ticking over properly. Doing the right thing for other people is the right thing, but I shouldn't push myself so far that it's detrimental to my own mental health. I have made that mistake several times in the past. I'm supposed to be learning from that. And I'm forced into the same habit. That's really frustrating. Because in a way, at the moment, it feels like it's, do what you have to do for your physical health. Physical health is all that matters because there's a physical illness doing the rounds. Do what you can to keep your loved ones safe. Do what you can for the greater good. And that's all that's supposed to matter. Effectively, it's, if you're struggling, keep through it because it's the right thing to do. Struggle through it. Be strong. Especially, be strong because it's the right thing to do for other people. Whenever I stay strong against my better judgment for too long, I end up ill for a while. And it's going to happen. I don't know when. Don't know how long for. Don't even know when we're going to be let out of this bloody lockdown. Which again doesn't help, it's the uncertainty. But that's the thing. We're doing something that we're told is the right thing to do. But especially as of today, April 27th, the government are saying, we're not going to say yet what the plans are, just keep at it. You don't need to know how or when things are going to be relaxed. Except some of us do. I know I do. Well, yeah, I can keep at this. I will keep at this. But it just feels like I'm walking towards my next major breakdown. With no idea when it's coming, whether it'll be short or long, whether it'll be minor or major. and even just when I'm going to have some semblance of control again. And it is frustrating because, I see, sorry America, but I see parts of America, having their great big freedom protests. It's like, you can't keep us locked in like this. And there's a part of me that kind of empathises. But the part of me that empathises also, it's, like I said, well, effectively, it's the part of me that's ill. And it's the part of me that's, well, to put it bluntly, selfish. Okay, in my case, selfish for the right reasons. I'm trying to stop my mental health deteriorating. But even then, I will shout and scream and rail against it, but ultimately stick to it. But then I see people kind of going around, it's like, oh, you can't stop us doing that. Because you can't. Because I want to get my hair done. Keeping care of your hair in lockdown's easy. Get rid of the hair. And before anybody worries, no, this isn't just a reaction to lockdown. Drawback with being in my early 40s now. Back and sides still grow fairly well. On top, not quite so much. So in the summer, when I tend to keep my hair shorter anyway, since last year I've just started shaving it off. The only difference is this year I did it a month or so earlier than I would have done because the weather was warm. It needed a bit of a tidy, and to be honest, the easiest way for me to do it neat is just take the lot off. Oh well. Bundler like I am today. But then again, it's part of why I do this. If I keep it all bottled up in here, that's the quickest way for it to go very bad very quickly. By having the occasional vent and not pretending that everything's fine, that keeps me going for longer. It's a pressure release valve. Besides, the biggest mistake I've made over the years is bottling everything up. This time, no chance. I'll stick to the rules. Just don't expect me not to bitch about them at the same time. And with all that said, see ya.